Hello, friends. Welcome in. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day and another week, 7 minutes after 3 o'clock. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Hope your day's going well so far. Absolutely gorgeous out of doors. A little bit warm for my taste at this time of year in the middle of September, this Monday, September 15. But you know what? We'll take it. Some say better than the cold. I'm looking at one that says better than the cold.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. There's Ken Weaver back in News Closet B. What's going on, Ken Weaver?
How about you boys?
You doing all right?
I'm doing good.
Good. News going well so far?
News going good, well, so far.
Where?
I have not, let any expletives fly or anything like that in my cast, so I'm fine.
Have you broken it?
No.
No broken today?
Have not broken any news today.
Well, but every once in a while you do break it.
Every now and then.
Yeah,
Thanks to you hosts, man. You guys are on it.
Well, I don't know about that. Well, here's some breaking news. I heard it first from another host, Chad Benson, of the Chad Benson Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You going to the Dubes tonight?
Going to the Doobie Brothers concert tonight.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. I've always been a Doobie Brothers fan. I've also always been a Michael McDonald fan, too.
I'm confused, and I don't know enough. You know what? I've learned, at least in my 52 years, that if you don't know, say you don't know, and then maybe you'll find out.
Yeah.
And so Michael McDonald was he an original Doobie?
Not an original one.
Okay.
He joined them after one of the founding members got ill.
Okay.
And had to sit out for a while, and so Michael McDonald came in, and they changed a little bit. Early Doobie Brothers is very, very much Southern rock in my opinion.
China Grove and that kind of thing.
China Grove and, let the music play. And, I mean, really good stuff. Then Michael McDonald kind of.
Listen to the music.
Yeah, boy, I love that. I tell you what.
You're going to hear that tonight,
That's good. Oh, I'm going to hear that. That's in the set list. I've already looked it up.
Oh, you know what? Look at you.
I know every song they're going to play.
I love it. Where is it?
It's at Franklin First Bank. Is that
the amphitheater?
Yeah, the amphitheater where the rock quarry
was. Heck yeah. I hope the I hope the concert starts at 9:30, Ken. For your sake.
Well, that's probably when those boys will take the
That's true. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Listen, there's no traffic going in that direction by the time you're out of here.
Never.
You'll be look, it's not on 24, is it?
It's not on 24, thank goodness.
So it's got to be
but
better.
I got to go to 24 because I got to pick up the Little Misses.
Oh, what?
And then we got to head over.
Oh, goodness. Well, good luck. Yeah. Oh, well, listen. That's y'all have a great time. Y'all let us know how it goes.
I will. I'll post a bunch of pictures.
Please do. Well, I posted a few pictures over the weekend. I don't know if you saw any of those.
I did. I loved them.
I spent the weekend. Jackson Williams, a.k.a. Apple Jacks, a.k.a. Y2J, a.k.a. J Willie, a.k.a. Fraction Jackson, cannot get enough of me during the week. And so we spent some time together Saturday throughout the course of the day, starting early in the morning, throughout the afternoon. A wonderful time was had by all.
Yes, sir.
Really? Until. Oh, you were having a great time until overtime.
Until 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Hey, Jackson.
Hey.
How's it going, buddy?
I'm fine.
Are you gonna be in a better mood when I let you take that hat off?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give it a couple more minutes.
Oh, no, I see what's going on.
You see what's happening over there, Ken?
This hat's ugly. It's got that stupid dog on it.
It's a good-looking hat. It's a little I picked him a hat, Ken, that I don't wear because it's a little too small for my head.
Yeah.
And so I felt like it'd be a little too small for Jackson's head, too. Was I right, Jackson?
Yes, this hurts.
Uh-huh.
Well, Jackson's got a big old head of hair, too.
Got a big old grape.
Big old bunch of hair.
He's got a big old noggin and a big old head of hair and a little bitty Georgia Bulldog hat that he – and look, listen, first and foremost, never a question that you were going to pay off our bet, and I would have paid mine off. And I thought on multiple occasions Saturday afternoon that I would be sitting in this chair at this time wearing a Tennessee Vols cap. So
I had I was going to make you wear the one I sweated in all day on Saturday.
Were you? Yeah, you mentioned
going to call it game used.
You mentioned that on the way home. Yeah, that was one of the few things you said to me on the way home.
I was tired.
You were all tuckered out. Jackson went to I only caught him snoring once on the ride home, Ken. Only one time.
That's way to go, Brother Jack.
That was in between the tears, Ken.
It was
My
a little
voice
bit
is still shot.
Y'all need to, if you've not caught it, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on. We got a lot of content to get to, so don't think we're going to talk sports for 4 hours. We're not. But
Wait, we're not?
Jackson's a Tennessee Vol. Matt Murphy's a Georgia Bulldog. We just played over the weekend, so y'all can indulge us a minute or two.
That's a great game, man.
Ken, that's what I was most curious about. I know how much you love football. I know how much you love college football.
Yes, sir.
And now, as a proud member of the Southeastern Conference with your Oklahoma Sooners,
yes,
what a great team they got.
Well,
big game coming up this weekend, buddy.
We got to win this game. We got to win this game. There is no question about it. It's must win. But I'm going to say this about the Georgia Bulldogs and the Tennessee Vols.
Yeah.
That's a couple of elite teams. You guys got elite talent, man. Big old boys just knocking the hell out of each other.
I said earlier today, because I stopped by our brother station, 104.5 The Zone, had a remote like a block and a half from my house, and I couldn't help but stop by the Buck Rising show to rub it in on some of those boys. And I said, listen, and I'll say again, either you were watching two playoff caliber teams or you weren't. And
you were.
I do not believe that those are not two playoff caliber teams. I think the Tennessee Volunteers are obviously playoff caliber. But the margin of error, the margin of error had Georgia lost the game, which we probably deserved to do, would have been razor thin for us to make it in. Now you feel like the Vols, what do you got? One more loss, Jackson, that you can afford and still get in?
Yeah. And we got a tough schedule.
Yeah. I think you got it in you. I do. I think you got it in you.
Chris Brazzell was taking the Georgia Corners for a ride.
Good gracious. That grown, you-know-what man was just, my Lord.
The Vols wide receivers are grown men.
They are
big.
They're
dudes.
big and they're fast.
What was his name? Brazzell?
Chris Brazzell Jr.
Ken, I don't know if you saw it on television at home, but in the stadium it was pretty obvious. At one point, that big man just told our cornerback to lay down on the field, and he would go ahead and catch that football and run it in for a touchdown. And that's exactly what they called it. You just go lay down, and I'm going to catch this football. And that's what happened.
So are you guys, either of you, familiar with Josh Pate?
Yes.
So there is a close-up of that third Chris Brazzell touchdown where Josh Pate's jaw just dropped at the way that he just manhandled this poor Georgia corner. Oh, those were the good times.
Those boys are going to be playing on Sunday.
Those were the good times.
My voice is still not recovered.
It is, man. Listen to Brother Jackson.
This is the most depressed Jackson has sounded all weekend.
Part of it's I can't talk. I yelled too much on Saturday.
You did a lot of yelling. And there was a few, what were those, lemonades that you were drinking?
Oh, I thought you meant expletives.
Oh, no. I was
there were a
talking
lot
about
of those, too.
The lemonades. Those look very tasty.
They were.
Yeah.
Well, you got to get – my sister was with me, and we had to share.
Can I just – how many did you give her?
Couple.
Out of the 12?
Yeah.
Can I just tell you, you never know – what a lovely family Jackson has, and it really makes you wonder.
What happened?
What happened to Brother Jackson?
Because he's got a beautiful sister and a nice brother-in-law. The entire family seems to be lovely. I don't know what went wrong.
Brother Jackson's a great guy, man.
He is a great guy. No, in all seriousness, if you want to watch, go to Facebook, and I think I put it up on the Twitter machine too. It was a story in 3 parts. It was 3 videos, and it was video number 1 when we got out of the car. We had just landed in Knoxville, just gotten parked. Everybody's happy. Everybody's excited. Everybody is pre-lubed.
Yeah.
And then a second video when I had a few libations.
There's been a little bit of a lubing up process. I think Matt Murphy had 1 or 2 at that point. And then there's the very dark and dreary video in the car on the way home. Where
did I curse in that one? Or did you cut it off?
No. At one point, you didn't curse, but this is what you said. This is my Ken. This is my impersonation of Jackson in the backseat of my car. This was him. That's what he did. That's exactly what you did. That's what you did.
It was
yeah. One of those.
That really hurt my throat just then.
I tell you what, I feel sorry for that kicker because he had the leg.
Yeah.
He had the leg, man.
Well, here's what I like.
Get paid now.
Here's what I like.
Just saying.
Jackson Williams' current comments aside, everybody in Neyland Stadium, at least the ones that I talked to, said, I feel bad for the young man.
Oh, yeah.
We had chances to win the game. I mean, obviously, the young man's there to make those kicks.
Yes,
he didn't make those kicks. I do not believe that anyone in that stadium feels worse than he does.
No, yeah.
I can't imagine. Can you imagine being a college football kicker in the day of social media?
Yeah. Yeah.
And missing a kick like that?
Right.
And so all I can tell you is there are plenty of volunteer faithful that are going to be kind to this young fella. Hopefully he stays off social media for a while because there's a lot of knuckleheads out there too. So.
Yes, sir.
But, I felt bad. Well, I felt bad for him, but not bad enough that I wasn't, putting the kabuki on him. I mean, I put the kabuki on him right before he tried to make that kick. Oh, yeah, you go. And I said, kick it right to Jackson. And he did. He did. Jackson, unfortunately, was in the corner of the end zone.
Not behind the goalpost.
And not behind the goalpost. Nelson, be nice. Nelson.
Oh, man, what's Nelson saying?
Nelson's saying nasty things about the kicker. Don't say nasty things.
No, you can't do that.
That's for private.
That's for private.
That's for your group chats.
All right, so let's. So that's that. We perhaps will delve back into the football conversation. And by the way, somebody said that both the University of Tennessee Volunteers and the University of Georgia Bulldogs could beat the Titans. I don't know about all that.
I don't know. Chris Brazzell.
Man.
Is Brazzell on the team? Can we combine the best players of both? I think we can take them on. What did you take that hat off for? Oh, we were done talking about football?
Yeah.
You thought that was your cue? Head getting hot?
It hurts.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
It's just squeezing my head.
And no, it's too small. I knew it's too small. That's why, because I didn't want any of your Vol sweat on any gear that I actually wear. And we were trying. Hey, Ken, I'll say that we thought we had him a Christmas dog hat. I got one that's all lined in fur. It says "Go Dogs" on it.
I love a beanie.
It's got a little, one of those balls on it.
Yeah.
With a little dog hanging on the ball. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. You want me to buy you a beanie? Did you just ask me to buy you a University
No, I
of
said
Georgia
I would have
Bulldog
loved a beanie.
Oh, okay. Duly noted. If we meet again. If we might meet again.
We'll see you in Atlanta.
Teams in the SEC can play 3 times now.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Got to get past those Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma Sooners pretty good.
At least now we know that the quarterback for Tennessee's legit. That's my last comment on it.
Absolutely.
100%.
No fear.
Oh, no.
No fear at all.
Y'all need to y'all heard that they fired the UCLA coach. Y'all walk with me here on this one football thought.
All right.
So they fired the coach at UCLA where Nico is now.
Yeah.
Where he went to lose games and play in front of nobody and make less money. So
really smart decision, young man.
Brilliant decision. So here's what I would encourage the Vol faithful to do is to encourage him to go ahead and because there's a transfer rule, Ken, that allows if your head football coach is fired, you have a 30-day window that you can transfer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the players of the team, they put it in there to, make it fair because if the coach, recruited that I'm going to be here for 4 years and then he jets, give those players an opportunity to leave. So Nico there's going to be a transfer window and Nico I can't say it.
Iamaleava.
There you go, Weaver. Man, he's the best in the business, Nico can transfer. So I think that the Vol faithful should offer him a couple bucks to come be the backup.
Well, he would be the backup.
He would not be the starter.
He would most certainly be the backup. All right, let's listen. There's a continued fallout in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and we're going to talk about that this afternoon, obviously, throughout the course of the afternoon. We're going to speak with Senator Jack Johnson about some of the fallout that's happening right here in the state of Tennessee. Firings, online explosions. There was a firing at the University of Tennessee, a professor. I do not understand what you people don't understand about this. And maybe you're so misguided. Maybe you're so blind to it. Perhaps you're just nose blind, narcissistic, ego-driven. I don't know what it is. But the First Amendment does not guarantee that you can say anything you want about anything you want and not suffer repercussions in your community as a result. The community has an opportunity to shun you. Do y'all not understand that? You don't have some God. The First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America guarantees that the government may not prevent you from openly speaking unless you are putting others in direct harm's way. It has nothing to do with your private employer. It has nothing to do with your government employer. Your government employer has the ability to fire you if you are doing things that are detrimental to the company. So you can't hide behind the fact that, she was a University of Tennessee professor and she deserved better because the government can't. Yes, the government certainly can, and y'all going to learn. You're going to learn. You cannot run around saying things like this and expect that people are just going to suck their thumbs and take it. And that does not mean that there's going to be any sort of physical interaction or reaction, but most certainly a societal interaction and reaction is forthcoming. And y'all are going to learn or you're not. You're going to learn or you're not. We are going to get back to a civilized way of talking about politics in this country, one way or the other. And that means that people will be shunned if they continue to advance this level of promotion of political violence. It doesn't mean that anyone is resorting to political violence on the other side. It means that we are not going to put up with your acceptance of it anymore. And there's nothing wrong with that. So we're going to talk about the First Amendment today on the show. We're going to talk about some of these radical online leftists on the show today as we continue to break down the reaction and the aftermath and the fallout of the assassination last week of Charlie Kirk. We will also tell you the latest on the assailant in the situation and what we know about that person. I've got an update on remember when I said I was impressed with the Utah governor? And then the weekend happened. And now I'm not so impressed with the Utah governor anymore. That just goes to show you might want to figure out who's talking before you say anything. And I'll admit it. I mean, I was impressed when he cranked it up. When he started off, I thought, this guy, he seems pretty good. And then the weekend happened, and he starts using they and them pronouns. And I don't know, worried about what the boyfriend of the guy that is suspected of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk has to say about anything. And I don't care about any of that, but apparently he does. Tributes around America and around the globe for Charlie Kirk, too, over the weekend. There's one in Murfreesboro tonight. I know that there was one in Franklin last night. There was also one in Sumner County last night. And those were wonderful, wonderful tributes. And apparently, from everything that we see, the churches were packed yesterday. I talked to one of my physical therapists this morning when I was at therapy, and she came over to me, and we had not talked about politics. I'll tell you what she had to say about all of this and what she said about her church coming up in just a moment. Of course, your calls all afternoon long, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. It's The Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, yeah, there are a lot of vigils that I will be telling you about throughout the course of the afternoon that are going on today. There's one particularly in Murfreesboro at 1500 Medical Center Parkway, which is very near downtown Murfreesboro. I'm hopeful to be able to speak with our own Chris Hand about that because I know Chris is going to be there tonight. Chris, if you're listening, I have yet to send you a text, but I'm going to send you a text in regard to getting you on later on to talk about that event. There's also one candlelight vigil and prayer vigil at 6:30 tonight in Woodbury, on the town square in Woodbury, Tennessee. We saw a vigil last night in Sumner County. We saw, I did not see, but I saw online, there was one in Franklin, and I believe our next guest at least visited the Franklin event for a few minutes. He is Senator Jack Johnson. We invite him on the show to talk about some of the fallout and just to get his thoughts on where we are as a society, where we are politically, where we are as a culture, and we appreciate his sage wisdom on these matters. Thank you for being here, Jack. How are you?
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you having me on again.
Boy, it's been a crazy week.
It has been. It's been a very tough week for our nation. Tough conversations going on with families and fellow conservatives about, why something could happen. At the end of the day, put all of the political pontification to the side. A 31-year-old man lost his life, and he was a husband. He was a father to two beautiful little children who will grow up without their father. And we have to start there. Tragic, senseless loss of life. And, my heart aches for his family.
Well, I said last week, and I don't pretend that it hasn't been said 1,000 times over, 1,000 times better, but, at the beginning, you're dealing with someone who was a faithful person, and that gives you a sense of comfort that if you are a believer, Charlie Kirk was most certainly a believer too, but that does not change the fact that a wife and a mother has to go through life without her husband, and children have to go through life without their father, and instead of memories, they have stories, and it is a tragedy, no other way to put it.
It is, and, I'm a father of three beautiful kids. I was raised by two amazing parents, and to have that disrupted so senselessly by a deranged maniac, it's hard to express, and I know millions of Americans are feeling this. People who were big fans of Charlie Kirk, I know you were, I was, but I'm sure you've encountered a lot of people too who have said, I didn't know much about Charlie Kirk, but I do now.
That's right.
And millions of people now are being exposed to his gospel, and because he was an amazing spreader of the gospel and his faith, and he wasn't afraid to talk about his faith. So there's that aspect of it. If you watch one of his videos or any number of his videos where he talks so powerfully about his faith, and then obviously his conservative viewpoints as well. So if that deranged lunatic who pulled that trigger thought he was going to silence a voice, he may have from this point forward, but we have hundreds and hundreds of hours of wonderful video and audio of Charlie Kirk speaking about his faith and about his viewpoints that will live on forever.
I was reminded, and I did this late, I guess it was Thursday, and it was in no way designed to compare what I do or what any of us do to what Charlie did. But I put up I am Charlie Kirk on my social media platforms. And I explained it to someone who didn't get it. I said, have you ever seen the movie Spartacus? I was like, the Roman emperor came in and said to all the slaves, all of you are going to be spared. All you have to do is give us Spartacus. And they knew, well, I'm going to kill Spartacus, but all of you will be fine. And every one of them eventually stood up and said, I'm Spartacus.
Yeah,
we are all,
that's right.
and we are all Charlie Kirk right now. It is up to us to take up the cause and the fight and continue the cause and the fight for a better America.
The pastor at church on Sunday, I attended a church. A good friend of mine is the pastor there, and he spent a good bit, probably 50% of the sermon talking about Charlie and talking about his faith. And one of the things he said in talking to members of his church that are college age, young adults that were, passionate followers of Charlie Kirk, he said there was a common refrain from those people, and many of them said, with Charlie, I felt safe talking about my faith because of Charlie, because he would go into some of those hostile environments and talk about his faith and his conservative values. He inspired lots of young people to do that. Mm-hmm. And so I hope that every one of them is also standing forward and saying, I'm Charlie Kirk.
On the flip side, you have so many angry people online. And last night, I was trying to figure this out, and I've been trying to figure it out, that what would lead individuals, not just deranged people, I can't think of a better word, but, people that we see in daily life that have reputable positions in daily life, feeling the desire, the compulsion to go online and publicly talk about how happy they are or whatever. And they justify it by saying, using language like fascist, hate monger, and these types of things. And I realized last night, Jack, none of them have ever heard Charlie Kirk.
That's right.
That none of these people, and I would, and I'm going to do a little more of this, after our conversation. But I would challenge anyone that feels that way to call me and tell me why. And I won't even get in the way, because I would dare say that none of them ever listened to Charlie. Because if they did, they would recognize that, of course, he had very heartfelt and very strong viewpoints on a lot of issues. But his engagement involved going to where people disagreed with him and listening to why and having that exchange of ideas.
Here's the thing. He gave them a platform,
right? A
huge platform that they would not have otherwise had. And he invited them to come up and prove him wrong. He invited them to come up and debate. You know, he tried to keep it respectful. Sometimes they would get disrespectful. But, he never attacked people. I've yet to see any video of Charlie Kirk where he attacked anyone. He attacked viewpoints. Mm-hmm. And he gave a respectful forum where people could express their viewpoints. And certainly never once did I ever hear, I don't think Charlie Kirk ever advocated for violence, ever.
No, I can't. I feel like over the last several days, had there ever been a time,
it would have come out. Somebody would have found it. That's right.
And the one few instances that the political left sadly feels like they can lean on, they're taken completely out of context. Charlie Kirk did, and I could do 3 hours on this, but Charlie Kirk did say that the Second Amendment is worth defending, even if there are gun deaths, and I would defend that comment and defend that statement.
If you listen to the entire thing or read the entire thing in context,
that's exactly
how can you disagree with it? It's a perfect analogy. Over 50,000 people die in car wrecks every year. That's the analogy he used. Are we going to ban driving? Right. No, we're going to allow people to drive. If you listen to or read the entire transcript of what he was saying, it's perfectly rational.
And it's a little bit ironic that he's being called a fascist by those that did not know him today. And the very core fiber of his being believed in those things that prevent fascism in this country, including the Second Amendment.
That's right.
Our Second Amendment rights are the foundational rights that prevent a fascist dictator from taking over the United States.
From taking over. That is exactly right. And also in a true fascist type of regime, you don't have the First Amendment. You don't have the ability to express your viewpoints. That can be taken away from you or at least subdued. And he was all about the First Amendment. He was all about talking.
Well, but the First Amendment certainly gives us an opportunity to speak truth, whatever that might be, in whatever arena that might be in. But it is not a free pass to say anything you want to say without ramifications. And I think some of our, quote unquote friends are learning this across the state of Tennessee. We're seeing it a lot on college campuses, a lot in school settings. Any thought on why that is?
Well, we've long known, or at least suspected, and it's more so in certain academic environments than others, that it is very lopsided. And even in Tennessee, there are some institutions of higher education where there have been attempts to suppress conservative voices. We've passed very strong legislation to make sure our college campuses are places where all viewpoints can be heard and respectfully and debated. But I will say this, if you're in a position where really any position, but focusing on academics, whether you're in a high school or you're on a college campus, and you are so self-unaware that you take to social media to celebrate a horrific act such as this, where a 31-year-old husband and father of two beautiful children was assassinated in cold blood, and you're going to justify that, rationalize that, or defend it, celebrate it in any way, you should be fired. You have no business on a college campus, in a high school classroom, in any place. Private sector employers, I would encourage you to take a really hard look at how that reflects on your company. But I'm so proud of the University of Tennessee, East Tennessee State University, Middle Tennessee State University, Austin Peay.
Cumberland, I think.
Cumberland.
Yeah, they're private, but still.
I started listing them, and now I'll get in trouble for leaving one out. But but numerous institutions, and we're also seeing it, at the high school level as well, and other areas of government where they're taking swift action against these people. It will not be tolerated. And I will say this, Matt, there have been conversations with some of my colleagues. I think we're going to take a really hard look at college tenure at our universities and getting rid of that, because that can be an impediment sometimes in firing these professors. But you should not be if you're going to celebrate something as horrific as this, you should be fired. I don't care how long you've been with the university, whether you have tenure or not, you should be fired.
I don't know if this is in your Senate district. I think it might be in Williamson County at Franklin High School.
Yes.
And there's a teacher there that has gone off on a tirade. I'm not going to repeat what she says.
It's awful.
But it's awful.
It's horrific.
And you're saying that she needs to be fired.
I've made that public declaration. I have as well. And I believe the steps are being taken within the Williamson County school system at the administrative level for that to happen. And I have called for her firing, as has Marcia Blackburn, as has Representative Jake McCalman, Representative Lee Reeves, numerous others have called for that. And I know a number of my school board friends on the Williamson County School Board, and certainly thousands, if not tens of thousands, of parents in the Williamson County students in that school system are mortified by that, and we shouldn't stand for it. They should be fired.
Well, and once again, you are not being jailed. You can have some of the most horrific positions imaginable in this country, and I cherish the ability that we grant in the United States of America through God's providence,
Absolutely.
and through our Constitution. That you can believe what you want to believe, and you could even say up to the line that you're endangering other people what you want to say, but you don't have a right to employment. You don't. In
one of our public universities or a public school system.
Not.
That's right. And I'm so glad you said that. You haven't, nor have I, advocated for any violence against these people. Wish them no harm. I wish them no harm. You know what I wish? I hope they go look at themselves in the mirror and take a really long thought about what they did and what they said, and maybe pray to God for forgiveness and repentance, come back and retract those statements, and learn to live a better life. That's what I hope for them. I certainly wish no violence or any harm to come of them. But the way you articulated it is so good that the First Amendment protects you from the government taking action against you because of some activity. I have been protested. I've been called a lot of really, really nasty things in my capacity as a state senator, and I defend their right to say it. I celebrate it.
Well, and some people have a difficulty understanding the difference between a role like a university professor, even an institution like the University of Tennessee or Middle Tennessee State or ETSU that get money from the government. They have an ability to run a business and to do the function of their role in society as best they can. And if you bring that institution into, I think it's disrepute, and there's some particular verbiage there, they have an opportunity to fire you. We're a right-to-work state.
Yep.
And a right-to-fire state. That carries over in some ways into the public sector as well as the private sector. So if y'all want to challenge that and suggest that you get to say anything you want to say because you're a government employee, y'all have at that and enjoy that time in court, because it probably will be short-lived.
Every company I've ever worked for, I've owned companies and employed people, and I've also worked for companies. There's always been a code of conduct that I had to agree to before that employment ensued. And it typically revolved around doing something that made the company look bad or bringing disrepute or disrespect or something bad to the company. I think the same applies to our public university system, our public schools. And if a teacher does not have the sense to be able to not celebrate something this horrific, then they deserve to be fired.
Where do we go from here?
I'm always trying to find the glass half full. I'm always trying to find, and Romans 8:28, I believe it is. It's good can come from those who find their purpose in God. And I'm paraphrasing. Forgive me for not getting the scripture exactly right. And so you have to turn to faith in these times of darkness, and you have to pray and for comfort and peace. And millions of us are praying for Erica and her children and all of those who are close to Charlie. But I will say millions and millions, tens of millions of people are being exposed to the brilliance of Charlie Kirk and his ability to express his faith and his conservative values. And I hope that good comes from that, watching these vigils taking place all across the country. Again, as I said, this deranged madman was trying to silence someone, and all you did is amplify his voice many, many times over.
You mentioned in the final minute that we have or so, you mentioned the possibility of looking at how our teachers are protected through tenure. And it's been a long-standing curiosity of mine how they found a way to shield themselves from dismissal, and you think the General Assembly will take a look at that?
I'm confident of it, and I can almost understand how tenure maybe came about. It was to protect people who wanted to explore different ideas and different thoughts. And after a certain amount of time, and you gained a certain amount of respect within academia, you obtained tenure, and it gave you a degree of freedom. Sadly, however, as with many things like this, when that is being abused and it rises to the level of indoctrinating our kids, trying to contaminate their minds with liberal Marxist ideology, and not allow refuting argument from capitalist and free market people, and have a healthy exchange of ideas. When you're eliminating that, then as far as I'm concerned, you've lost your right to any kind of protection from tenure or otherwise.
Finally, you mentioned that you got a chance to be at the vigil last night in Franklin. How was that?
It was touching, and unfortunately, it was very brief for me because I was in between other events. But I don't know what the final count was, but it was thousands, and that's my hometown. You know, I live 2 miles from the square.
You feel good.
It really does. It's just the feeling you got. I mean, I don't know how to say it. God was present. God was there, and people honoring Charlie and praying for our nation and praying for he and his family and all of that. It was incredibly moving. Wish I could have stayed longer than I was there, but I also know there were others. There was another one in Thompson Station, also in my Senate district.
Sumner
County had one, and obviously the big one coming up. I think this weekend. I think out in Arizona with President Trump, and that's going to be magnificent. And of course, it'll be televised and all, so a lot of folks will be watching.
Jack, thanks for stopping by. I know we originally wanted you to stop by for political reasons.
We'll do that later.
Let's do that later. I appreciate your guidance and everything you do for the state of Tennessee.
Thanks, Matt.
There's Senator Jack Johnson. We'll be back in a moment, 55 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Easy for me to say, right? So if you're not sleeping well, do you know why? Is it possible it's sleep apnea? If you don't know, let's find out. Let me ask you a few questions. Do you snore? If you snore, the likelihood of you having sleep apnea is pretty significant, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to snore. In other words, I was one of those 20% or so of men that do not snore considerably, but I was not breathing throughout the night. I was stopping breathing throughout the night, and that's a problem, friends. But now I have a device, an FDA-approved oral device that goes into my mouth, and every night I sleep better. I get more energy in the morning, and it's because of the Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Call Dr. Brian McLaughlin today. 2 offices, one in Murfreesboro, the other in Brentwood, and ask them how they can assist. TennesseeSleep.com. That's TennesseeSleep.com.